Okay, so I'll make this video because for some reason I still get questions like, is the game worth checking out? Is it still worth playing Planetside 2 in 2026? And every year, YouTubers also who for some reason still check out this game, they'll make a quick video like, is Planetside 2 worth playing? And so I thought I'd give my 2 cents on it in this video. Fortunately, there's not going to be any footage because I tried to log on. First time I crashed like in the sanctuary. Second time I crashed as I was warping from the sanctuary. And then the third time, for some reason, I got to play like a minute. Of course, there were no fights. I went to defend like a base, 2 players versus 24 enemies, and then they had a guy aimbotting around in a mosquito, just obliterating everybody inside the spawn room and out, of course. And then I crashed. So, yeah, there's not going to be any gameplay footage, I think, in this vid. But I'll still try to answer the question to the best of my abilities. Basically, is Planetside 2 worth playing in 2026? The answer is yes and no. Yes, in the sense that the game is free. So if you want, go download it, check it out, play for a little bit. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, uninstall it. You lost nothing except a little bit of your time. Which, dude, if you're looking at Planetside 2 videos on a 30 sub channel in 2026, you have time to waste. So, yeah, that's what I'd say. If you want to make your opinion, the game's free. Check it out. Um, However, why I'd also answer no to the question is if you checked out the game already and you didn't like it in 2025, 2024, 2023, all the way back until 2012, I mean, fundamentally, the game hasn't really changed. And the few things that have changed are just for the worse. So if you didn't like it back then, you're probably not going to like it now. So just save your time and don't even bother downloading the thing to be disappointed, because literally all the changes that were made just made the game worse. And fundamentally, it still plays the same as it did at launch. So only you have less players and a few more shitty mechanics, I guess. So that's really the thing. It's also a no because let's say you like the game, you want to get invested into it. I mean, the game's been dead for quite a while now, to be honest. Right? Like, I'd say it peaked around 2014, right when they released Hawson. And then after that, they just kind of went downhill with the updates, focusing on the port to PS4, Combined Arms Initiative, construction, all this stupid shit, culminating with the Arsenal update and Osher, which kind of killed off the rest of the player base who stuck around for the gunplay. After Arsenal update, and most of these decent FPS players, they're like, that's enough, and they just quit for good. And so, yeah, like, there's really nothing to look forward to in the game. It's not going anywhere. We'll probably stay alive for a few more years because, most of the player base that still plays the game are the type of people who they can't win any FPS game with balanced teams. And so what this game allows them to do is, yeah, they have crutches to win 1v1s. There's crutch weapons, crutch mechanics, force multiplier spam, all this bullshit, right? But they'll still lose the 1v1s more often than not. But what this game has that no other game has is if you're shit at 1v1s, you can take refuge in overpop, right? And that's really all that's kind of left for these players in the game. Going around in overpop, staring at spawn rooms, capturing territory, and winning, the alert of the game more often than not. And so that's great if you're that kind of player who plays FPS games, not for FPS fights. Planetside 2 might be a good fit for you. But if you're interested in, challenging yourself, if you're interested in FPS, gunplay and stuff, the mechanics in this game are pretty good, despite what the past lead dev tried to do to like ruin them. But the problem is, like, you're just not rewarded for anything, with anything for mastering the game. I mean, the end game, if you're a decent FPS player in this game, is just you're redeploying to, defend bases against extreme overpop. There's a bunch of cancer mechanics, obviously busted shit that you can't do anything about. And there's no skilled players left. So the only thing you're doing to challenge yourself is just versing as many of these idiots as you can, and just trying to farm and delay these people as much as possible until they eventually, cap the base, because there's nothing you can do because you're outnumbered, and eventually they're always going to win. So it is fun. You can still get some nice moments during prime time on the weekends. You'll have to check which server, depending if it's North America or Europe, what the prime time is. But you can log on and you can still find some decent fights. Though I wouldn't recommend logging on until like maybe 2 weeks, where the Christmas directive is over and hopefully they decide to finally fix the crashes. Um, but yeah, that's kind of the end game, right? Like, you're not rewarded with anything for mastering the game. And since it's going nowhere, it's like, why bother dedicating some time to the game? Even though it's not hard to learn, it's just, you might as well just dump it into like a more popular game. You'll have a better experience. And at least the other game might go somewhere, whereas this one is definitely just going nowhere. And with every update, it's just going to get even more shittier, and lose more players. So that's kind of like why I'd say the game's not worth checking out. If you've checked it out before and didn't like it, yeah. And if you're into FPS games and, for some reason you still like the game, yeah, sorry to say, like, it's just not going anywhere. So play it a bit for fun, but I'd say find another game to main. Especially most of the week, you can't even play it, right? So yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents on it.